Hello, this is Creative Recovery Week 2 Artist Check-In. I was getting ready for bed and realized that I didn't do the check-in, so here I am. I'm gonna try and keep this one shorter than the last. Okay, so 1. How many days this week did you do your morning pages? How was the experience for you? I want to read the whole thing because I haven't read any of the questions fully. How many days this week did you do your morning pages? We're hoping 7. Remember, how was the experience for you? How did the morning pages work for you? Describe them. Remember, if you are writing morning pages, they are working for you. What were you surprised to find yourself writing about? Answer this question in full on your check-in page. This will be a weekly self-scan of your moods, not your progress. Don't worry if the pages are whiny and trite. Sometimes that's the very best thing for you. Okay, well, I did do all my morning pages. Only one day, which I believe Thursday, it was Thursday. Thursday, I did them late, and it was sort of scattered. So I didn't start my day with the morning pages as she suggests, but I do feel like the way that I did it just worked for me. It worked more naturally. I don't know. I still enjoy the process of the morning pages. For me, it just feels like I'm journaling. What I have found personally is that the thoughts that come in my head, my thoughts move way too quickly for me to write every single thing that's coming to mind down on the paper. I try to catch the segments, so I may not write the whole thought that I had, but I'll write like just a quick snippet of what just came in my head. Oh, that one memory. Oh, the interview. I had an interview this week that I don't think I did well on, and that was like a random intrusive thought that kept resurfacing throughout the week. So yeah, I guess one thing I was surprised to find myself writing about, I was writing about my financial situation and I was pretty much like budgeting in my morning pages, like working out my monthly expenses, and if I were to move, this is how much my monthly expenses are currently, and I was like writing all that down to take into account, which I actually liked. I did enjoy the process of doing that, just because again it feels like I'm grounding those thoughts and intentions instead of them being like just a imaginative figment sort of thing. Like, oh, I want to move. Okay, where, when, how are you going to support yourself kind of thing. So it was nice to, I guess, dive into that a little bit more. And it came about naturally in the morning pages. Yeah. I did find throughout the week, has nothing to do with the morning pages, but I did find throughout the week that the thoughts, the negative self-talk that I really didn't feel was present when I was doing the check-in last week. I feel like I actually was catching particular thoughts and doubts in the back of my head that maybe I just wasn't as privy to, or because of the way she worded like the doubting thoughts and things of that nature, I didn't count them as being doubtful thoughts, but I also think they weren't directly linked to like my creative process. It was just more so me as a person. But to me, I feel like, of course, those things, overlap. They overlap. I did not make a note of the thoughts that were coming up. So I will have to be more conscious about that the next time they do. And I'll take her advice from week 1 and formulate them into, I guess, a positive affirmation. Now, the part that I'm excited to talk about, or looking forward to talking about, the artist date. Yes, I did do my artist date, and it wasn't just an artist date, it was an artist day. Artist date day, essentially. I started with my normal, routine, and I had like at least, I had like 4 things that I was gonna do and try that day. I did 3. 3 of the 4. And, the other 4th thing could probably just be a different artist date thing. So, there's like this Latin market that's like 5 minutes from my house. Oh, I took the bookmark out of I didn't mean to do that. There's this Latin market that's like, yeah, I have no idea what page I was on. Anyways, there's this Latin market that, did I find it? No. That's like 5 minutes from my house. And I don't know, I had heard about it, and I'm the type of person where I'm just like intrigued by things. I just want to go in and see what's in there, even if I don't buy anything. So that was gonna be my artist date. But I was hoping that they would have like some markets, I've only ever experienced this at Asian markets, but some markets have like, the freshly made food or whatever. So I was hoping they would have something like that there, and that would be like like an extra tick onto the artist's date. And then from that idea, I was like, oh, then I can go and, go to a park that I haven't visited in a while and sit at the little bench and have my little treat thing or whatever. And then I'll go for an artist walk. So I had this whole thing mapped out, and I went to the market and it was very underwhelming. Yeah, nothing in there looked appealing. Nothing in there I really felt like a pull to want to try. Yeah, it was just very underwhelming. And they didn't have any like, freshly made food like I was wanting. But that sparked me to look up like Latin-esque places, and not fast food or anything like that, like something slightly obscure. And I was able to find something that was really close that I'd never been to before, type of thing. So I went there, and it really was like a hole in the wall kind of place, but I got like, yeah, I got some food and it was nice. And they had like tables outside, and I did sit out and eat some of the food that I got, and I started doing my late afternoon, morning pages there while I was waiting, sitting at the table. So I was sort of, it was like not exactly killing two birds with one stone, but sort of. Um, so yeah, but it was super windy and the pages were going everywhere, and so was my bag of food. So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna go to the park, and we don't have to take a walk, but we can at least just sit in nature or whatever. We'll have an artist whatever, an artist meditation. So I did, and I went and I sat at the bench that I was gonna sit at and eat, but I didn't eat, and I just sat and I finished my morning pages, or afternoon pages, or whatever, and it was nice. It was really nice. I had, my earbuds in, but then at some point they sort of copped out, but that was also okay, and I just sort of sat with the sounds, and I was just being, and I feel like been I hadn't been to that specific place in a long time, and it was just so refreshing. It felt needed. It felt so needed, like me just being out there surrounded by trees, just being. I truly did feel like I was being replenished, and I don't know, at a certain time I felt like I didn't feel like walking. But then I got up and I started walking, and I was like, oh, I actually do feel like walking. So I went for a walk, and it was just so replenishing. And I was like, oh wow, I'm the type of person that I actually do really need this. I do need this time in nature. I do need this fresh air, like I was really, yeah, it just felt very replenished. What is it? Regenerative. Regenerative. Yeah, my whole artist date. And I think I had too many ideas of what I wanted to do because I had the concept of the whole artist day. I was like, oh, I can paint my nails, I can learn how to crochet, because I actually got some yarn and things, so I do want to learn how to crochet. I've never crocheted before. That was one of the things on the tick list that I did not get to. But when I got home from all that, I did the artist tasks for the week. I don't know if she... No, she doesn't ask about them, or she doesn't ask to reflect about them. Were there any other issues this week that you consider significant for your recovery? Describe them. I guess that would have been, again, the thoughts that were coming up, like the doubtful thoughts, I guess, that were coming up. And I think it was in response to the interview that happened that I didn't think, and it's not that I didn't think, I truly do feel like it wasn't the best. I was just super nervous. This was my second time interviewing for this specific position. And the questions were the same. I guess I was anticipating that they were going to switch it up or something, but they didn't. Actually, there was one less question, but I was so nervous because obviously I did not get chosen the last time, and I felt like I really fumbled the bag last time, that I feel like I was overly cautious this time. So yeah, and I was just, I don't know. It was like I tried to prepare. No, I did prepare. I just wasn't confident, and I wasn't present. It's like, it was like no matter how much I meditated beforehand and took my time and made sure, I had plenty of time. I wasn't rushing or anything. I had pre-written all the questions that I remembered, which were all the questions that they asked, and I had pre-written all my responses kind of thing, and I was going over them, and I trusted that once I got in the room, I would be able to go ahead and formulate my responses, and articulate them accurately. And that just didn't happen. And I'm like, it's like, because the last time, I interviewed, for this position, I trusted myself to get in the room and perform as well, and I didn't, you know? I just wasn't confident. So it makes me also reflect on me being a musician, and obviously I do want to get in front of people and perform. And honestly, I don't, I don't see myself having a problem with that. But then again, it's like I have these experiences as my reference of, oh, I trust myself. And then the time comes and it's like I fumble. It's not like I was nervous beforehand or, the morning. It was only when I got to the building that I was feeling all, the nervousness and the anticipation. So it's like, yeah, it made it makes me question whether I can trust my I don't know. I guess trust my feelings about things. That's not exactly what I want what I'm getting at in terms of the creative process. I just kept seeing things, over and over, talking about believe in yourself, believe in yourself. That whole interview made me question whether I even know who I am. Like, truly. It really made me question, do I even know who I am? Like, I was not nervous at all. At all, until I got there. I trusted that I had prepared enough, and maybe I could have done more preparation, but again, I felt like I've done this before. I know, a general basis of the questions. I looked up more on the questions that, I recalled, and I actually wrote down my responses, things of that nature. It was like, I guess it really put into question if I trust myself, or if I believe I can step up to the plate in my life. And I think it was pretty terrifying is what's coming to mind. I don't know if that's the correct word. Only I can decide whether that's the correct word or not. I think it's close. Yeah. Yeah. It revealed some other things to me though. But that was the big thing. Again, in a way that it directly ties to my creativity. I question whether all these aspirations that I have, if I really... It's not that I don't have the capacity, but, everybody has the capacity, or at least that's what I believe. I believe that everybody has, unlimited capacity to go after the things that they're passionate about or things of that nature, make stuff happen, but it's hard to tap into it, it's hard to it's hard to commit, I don't it's really hard to dig. Yeah. You really have to dig, and I guess it made me question if I really have what it takes. Am I really willing? It's not that I'm not willing. I don't know, yeah. It's difficult to put into words, but I think I touched on, I articulated it good enough for the most part. It just really it made me question who I am. Like, I really felt like I don't even know who I am after that. Well, that was the end of the questions. Of course, I want to sit and continue to talk. But this really has nothing to do with the artist's way. And I guess that doesn't matter. It's my video. I'm allowed to do whatever I want. I will say my artist date was very successful. That was the highlight of this week. I'm proud of myself. I'm proud that I spent that time. It was just so enjoyable. And honestly, I don't ever really let myself buy food, you know, like I'm very much like a we have food at home to myself. We'll make something. We're not gonna go and get something, but you know, it wasn't fast food. I was trying something new, and I think that that's okay, especially because I don't do it often. I don't do it often. And I let myself enjoy it. I let myself get whatever I want, even though I'm doing like a whole calorie deficit thing, and I still managed to stay within my calorie deficit for the most part. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like I should end it because this is no longer about the creative recovery. I guess I do want to dive more into that loss of self. And I think, ironically, that is week 2. Recovering a sense of identity. That is week 2. We've gotten brave enough to try recovery, but we don't want the universe to really pay attention. We still feel too much like frauds to handle some success. When it comes, we want to go. See, but even I'm not sure. Because in terms of my creativity, I don't feel that. Like, there have been times where I have performed, you know, and I did feel nervous and I felt, you know, awkward or whatever, but I do feel like music is something that I just know it's what I'm here to do. You know, when I sing for people, even when I am nervous, it doesn't feel like I'm selling myself or I'm in a position where I have to sell myself, you know? I just get to be myself. I get to be nervous, you know, or whatever. And even though, you know, I coax myself into like, you know, relaxing or whatever, and I'm still having the things in the back of my head that are wondering what people are thinking about it or whatever. I don't know. I feel like when I sing, when I sing, I I do know who I am, kind of. Kind of. Yeah. I get so caught up in, I guess, the expectations of who I'm supposed to be you know, on stage or just day to day, you know. Sometimes I just want to observe. I don't know, man. I've been pondering about this for a while. Again, probably since that interview. It's like, who am I? Who am I supposed to be? It's not even a who do I want to be? Maybe it is, you know? But sometimes it's like who you want to be isn't really who you want to be. It's not really who you want to be. Because truthfully, I just want to be me. You know, I just want to do whatever happens. I want to be awkward sometimes, you know. I just don't want to think about how I'm being perceived. And I think once I let that go, then whoever I am apparently will just be, you know, however I show up. You know, I'm so used to putting on a face that is just habitual. And it's so apparent to me now when I put on a face that I don't always know how to take it off. I don't know how to I don't know. I'm getting better at it. Yeah. Sometimes I don't feel confident, you know? And I don't like faking it. I don't like faking it. I just wanna. I just wanna be. But again, you know, all the spiritual teachings will tell you that you're supposed to pretty much manufacture the feeling before, you know, you actually feel it or whatever. Like, that's the whole thing. You're not supposed to pray to God, you know, that something happens. You're supposed to thank Him as if it's already happened. And that makes sense, I guess. So it's like I'm supposed to manufacture who I want to be. You know, am I supposed to manufacture who I want to be? Or am I supposed to just be and whatever comes up, you know? But we all want to be perceived in a certain way. Not all of us want to be perceived as awkward. You know, you don't want to be awkward when you're trying to go up to somebody that you're interested in or whatever. I don't know. I feel like we're going to be here forever if I continue to talk about this. So I'm going to end it here, I guess. That was my artist checkup week 2. Success so far. Yeah. And I don't know what week 3 is. You know, recovering a sense of identity sounds, you know, exactly like what I was looking for, but the chapter just did not really go into, I guess, the sense of identity as an artist that I'm actually looking for, essentially. Because it goes beyond just being an artist. It's just it's the whole experience. Like, you know, to me, being an artist isn't separate, you know? Like, the whole experience of life is is part of it, you know? So many artists take their life experiences, you know, and put it into songs or channel it into music. It's how they are as people that it creates the identity of how they create their art. Obviously, I feel, you know. So this whole sense of identity for me, I it feels like the sense of identity as an artist revolves around the person I am, how I live my life. Or at least that's, I don't know, maybe that's my misconception. Maybe I'm overthinking about it. I don't think so. I think, like, if you're an artist, or at least, you know, even when I look at the word artist, it's not like a thing that you do, it's the person that you are. That is, like, that's how my brain sees it. You know, the artist's way. It's a way of being in the world. It's not just how you do your art. It's the person that you are. I've done so much work to heal and get to, you know, sort out so much fucking gunk, you know, of the person that I used to be, to sort of make space for the actual artist in me to come out and take space. And I guess I'm still trying to consistently show up to the page, you know? Maybe I'm afraid, and I guess that's normal. And I am doing it more consistently. And I just am. I am more consistent. I am more consistent than I give myself credit for now. And I think it's, I don't know, you know? I think I'm just overthinking it. I think it's a bit of both. I think I'm still figuring it out, and I'm overthinking it. Alright, yeah. I'm gonna end it there. So, week 2, success, I guess. And it's only, 8:20. But on the military time, it's 2020. 2020. I'll look up the angel number for that. Until next time.